All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Esports podcast. I'm your host, King Link Finn, and with me today I have Brock
Hello.
and Brian.
Hello.
And this is week 6 of the LEC. This is our last podcast of the week. And let's start right in from last week's, where it was a crazy week, at least towards the end. I was victorious on the week. I went 6-4, while Brock and Brian both went 5-5. But that puts me and Brian now tied at 32-18, and Brock at 29-21.
Catching up.
You got no. Actually, fell behind a game, but you're only 3 games out. You're only 3 games out. That's very manageable. We got 4 weeks left.
Unless it's an A.
Yeah, NA, you got to be like perfect. But let's start. The first game of the week was Fnatic versus Splice, and this is what I was hoping for with this new patch with Fnatic. They just looked fantastic. It was kind of slow, it was kind of boring, but they looked fantastic against Splice, and they were checking all the boxes, like making all the like grabbing each turret, like all the outer turrets, and then you'd get the inner turrets, and they were just everything was very slow and calculated style, which is Fnatic's strength. And with Reckless on ADCs getting buffed, I thought they did a fantastic job of beating Splice this week, and I was the only one to pick it, and I was happy.
Yeah. That that game was actually funny to me because it happened exactly how a game of Sivir should have.
Yeah,
The beginning of the game, Reckless literally farmed. Like that was it.
yeah,
He wasn't getting the kills, wasn't doing anything, and then all of a sudden, the end of the game, he's got 7 kills.
yep. All those ricochets on a farm-fed Sivir. It was. I was very happy with this result because I was like, oh yeah, Fnatic's back. And then they disappoint me later on. Spoiler alert. Ugh. I thought my previous week's analysis was very solid that Fnatic would be strong this week and that they would actually be stronger than Splice and teams under Splice to be able to sneak back into the playoffs. But now I'm not so sure. So anyway, let's move on. Did you have anything to say for that game, Brian?
No, I don't. These were so long ago. Honestly, I don't remember a whole ton.
They're same distance as every other game.
I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
We've slept a lot since then.
Yep.
Game number 2 was Origin versus Excel. And, oh, by the way, my notes for these games are not very detailed like they usually are because, like, on the other podcasts that you probably, if you've watched any other ones, I was at a casino last weekend, and this weekend I'm going to be at a Smash Bros. Tournament, so my notes will also be kind of thin. But I did watch all the games. I just was watching the games on my phone at the casino, so I didn't really have anywhere to take notes. So I was watching them all, but I didn't get a chance to write the notes down. And next weekend I'll be able to start doing that again. I probably won't have anything to write notes down on this one either. But anyway, game number 2 was Origin versus Excel. And this one, Origin looked very good. And Excel, I knew coming into this week, I did not like their change. I did not like changing out Exile for Special. That's who they
Yeah.
Yes, for special. I didn't like that move at all. I didn't think Exile was the problem on Exile. I thought it was one of the strengths actually of this team. And for them to switch them out to try something new, I guess that's okay because they were kind of struggling. But I didn't like the move. I thought Origin, they've been looking really good. I've mentioned this before. Like they're starting to come together. They've been fixing their early game mistakes and all of their constantly getting caught out mistakes. It's like Mithy and the others that were doing while warding, and they're actually coming together as a team. And they played this game very well against Excel, and they were able to dominate them because Excel is one of the weaker teams in the league, and Origin is on a high rise at the moment.
Yeah. Cold really popped off this
Yes,
too.
Cold had a very
Like,
impressive week.
yeah, Cold had another thing about this game is for me, there's another champion starting to turn into a Victor S champion for me, like
Is it
the
Gragas
past
support?
podcast we always talk about. No, it's not growing support. It's Yorick.
Ooh,
Like when I see Yorick, unless my mind is like gone and I'm thinking of something else, I don't see Yorick do much. And it's kind of like the Victor. Like this is one of the examples where it made me think of it. was there's this game and there's a few other games where the York doesn't do much.
Yeah,
Now, this time I actually meant York and I said York instead of like the last podcast.
yeah. I'm wondering if it's actually a players aren't as comfortable on him yet, but I feel like Yorick's strong. I don't think Victor's very strong. I guess in my opinion,
No, I don't.
I've seen Yorick really pop off in solo queue and professional play. When he gets rolling, that's a 2v1 to 3v1 threat in the side lane all the time. You cannot 1v1 him if he's ahead.
I wonder if it's because when you play York, you're supposed to play York like Broken Blade played Jack. Like you split push, you split push, you split push. And I wonder if it's because they're having a harder time actually getting those items on York.
Yeah,
because York's not a lane bully.
Yeah, well, no, not really.
He's not really.
I listened to Hooney today talking about York. He said York's mostly a counter pick champion. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's very strong, like not lane bully, but once you get out of lane, once you get that Triforce on him, you can't 1v1 him. You just simply can't. If as long as he lands his the I don't know what it's called, but the like little thing to make the ghouls go on you. I think it's his E.
You're talking about his E.
Yeah, his E, like to make the ghouls jump on you, and then he calls the maiden and puts you in the cage. Like you are not getting out alive. I have been in many of those situations, and you're just dead. Like you can't. It's basically doing a 1v2 already with just the maiden and the ghouls. They basically consist of an extra champion, and then Yorick with his shovel is good enough to be a champion by himself. With his Q stacking shovel. It doesn't stack anything, but it's just like Nasa's Q.
It does ridiculous damage.
It does so much damage once you get a sheen on it. Oh, I hate it.
This is another Conqueror champion.
It is. Trust me, I've brought this point up like months ago against when I faced a Yorick and I was looking at the gray screen because he killed me. Sheen passive with Conqueror with the Q on Yorick does like 200 more damage than Cho'Gath ult, and that thing is on a like 5-second cooldown. I got my ass handed to me a few times on Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath does not work well into Yorick.
No. That was kind of all I really had to say about that.
Mm-hmm. The next game was SK versus Vitality, and this was the first upset of the week of quite a few upsets. SK Gaming looked fantastic this week, and again, it's mostly self-made. It is, I can't say it's all of them, but they all did step up to be able to perform they just outbeat Vitality at their own game. They were just very aggressive the whole time, and they just simply had a better team fighting comp, and just won.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of picks that I'm kind of iffy about. I think Jarvan's one of them, too.
Jarvan?
I do like Jarvan because I think Jarvan does bring a lot to the team.
I've never been a huge Jarvan fan, personally.
I think he brings a lot late game, like with the ult.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you're having
flash.
Yeah. It's a flash, and, like, if you actually want to, like, have a crazy good ult, you're going to need to blow your flash. Yeah. Especially in pro play, because the chances of you getting a crazy good 5-man ulti, unless you're an NA, is kind of low.
Yeah, I'm just saying for like if you have a certain target like an ADC or a mage or the mid laner on the enemy team, you can just point and click on them with the ult, and they have to flash. So if you know their flash timers, they're stuck in there, and your team can blow them up. It's a very, very simple point and click thing to hit. And then the swag flag, of course, it's always a nice knock-up, but it is sometimes easy to miss.
This is also a sad game for Vitality because Cabochard was popping.
Yeah, and he was left alone.
Yep.
It was like, team, what are you doing? Oh man, I've had a few of those games. I've also had games where I've vented my ass off.
Yep. Those all.
Yeah. I had one of those games today, not ending the other way, where I was doing good, but the Varus was super fed, and that hurt. 10 kill Varus by 15 minutes does not feel good, even if you're a tank, by the way, just so you know. Our next game was SO4 versus Rogue. This game was very easy. Rogue did not look very good at all. SO4 kind of just cleaned them up. They just, very clean game overall by SO4 here. It was pretty, I didn't like what Rogue did. I don't know.
I was more so surprised that there was only 8 deaths for Rogue this game.
Well, yeah. Well, it was like a slow, like macro objective game
Yeah,
by SO4.
like I would have expected Rogue to die a lot more. So I guess you could take that. I guess
They
if you're Rogue.
it's almost the play style of SO4 is not going to make super aggressive team fights. They're just going to win team fights, but they're going to go for objectives. They're not going to constantly fight like Vitality does.
Yeah, about the only thing you can like that I was able to think that was worthy of noting for this game is another pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it seems like they want to bring.
Yeah, I like Jace, but like I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know about it.
He does a lot. He does a lot of damage. I've noticed that Jace doesn't fall off what I thought he used to.
And
I
he is
think
a huge lane bully.
I think it's because there's not many tanks outside. Cyan's the only tank in the meta, and with Urgot being the pseudo tank that's now gutted, man, it's Cyan or bust right now. Like it's a very small pool for tank players. I can tell you that. Where it's all about damage and it's all about burst. And I think that's why Jace actually hasn't fallen off because he can build that lethality. And if no one is even, if only they have semi tanks like stuff like Jarvan and stuff that can tank but not really that well compared to a true tank, like you're gonna blow people up as Jace. And I think that's why I've noticed that he's not falling off as much.
Also, Poppy Jungle did work out.
No, doesn't. It wasn't the best pick. I'm not
It is interesting.
I'm not too big a fan of Poppy Jungle. Big fan of Poppy Top though. I think Poppy Top is obnoxious. Not a fan of facing it, but Poppy does too much damage. For her base damage is way too high, I think.
Do you think we'll start seeing like the Maokai maybe as a counter to the Scion just to lose gracefully and just also be a huge tank?
I've gone through the Scion Maokai top lane match. It's not fun at personal experience, plat level experience, so it's not nowhere near challenger, so I don't know the exact win rate for them. In my personal experience as a Maokai player, it's rough. You can dodge his knockup with your root, but then it puts you at a disadvantageous position. There, I got it out. But because the issue I've had is it's very hard to break through Scion's shield, to be honest. Maokai does such little damage that he can put the shield up. You can break through it sometimes, but that's like the amount of time of the shield is like the amount of time it took you to do the damage. So you hit like 1% of his health while he was going full health on you the whole time. So you definitely lose lane, I think.
Yeah. The point is to lose gracefully, but you're still a massive tank because Scion's really the only great tank right now.
Yeah, I would rather personally just pick a bruiser into it. I don't think you can play any other tanks right at the moment, except for Scion. The new Conqueror does a lot of damage too, and it's for AP champs as well. I didn't like that. I didn't like that update. It's not as easy to proc though, which was nice. You can't proc it through minion waves anymore, like just staying in minion waves. But
yeah, I think they upped the number of hits you need to for the true damage.
Yes, you did. But the issue of having AP champs with it, like, oh, I can imagine. No, Vlad will probably still take Electrocute, but maybe if it's a tanky team, Vlad will take Conqueror and stuff. Or maybe Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia will definitely take Conqueror.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, that's one. Vlad maybe not. He's more AOE. I'm thinking any mage. I think actually Malzahar might be able to take Conqueror because he's usually a spellbook champion. Any single target champ or mage champ can look into it against tanky lineups.
Or if Malzahar's minion counted as the attacks.
I don't know if they do. If they do, that would be interesting. Yeah. I think personally, and I'm biased, I get it, but I was talking about it with one of my friends today. I think Cho'Gath can be a better tank than Maokai in the meta at the moment because he still provides a threat to dive him. Like if you can dive him, but there's a threat to it. I know there's a threat of Maokai because he has a lot of CC, but you can burst him out quick enough at the moment. Where Cho'Gath, he can provide that very strong burst with his bite, and his knockup and his silence. So you can, if you get a quick silence knockup bite, the towers are strong enough right now that they will kill people like in 1 to 2 tower shots at max at that point. Where Maokai doesn't really have that, and people have enough shielding around now and like healing from Triumph and stuff like that that they can get out of tower diving you pretty quickly, pretty simply. I mean, that's a personal opinion though.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good year at the moment because they're like we said. I don't play Sion. I need to learn Sion because he's the only tank left that's viable at the moment. Next game though, we went on a little bit of a tangent. Next game was G2 versus Misfits. Misfits looked terrible. G2 crushed them. Do we need notes on G2 games? I think I've even put that on my Griffin games as well. Do I need notes on Griffin games anymore?
You do for the next one.
Yeah, we do for the next one. That's for sure. But G2 just embarrassed Misfits. I think they just stomped them pretty much the entire game. I believe Misfits had 2 early kills, but outside of that that's it.
Yep.
Like it was clean game by all of G2 members.
They got 1 tower.
1 tower. Yeah, exactly. It was.
And it was Caps' lane. Are we thinking Caps falling off? He gave up a tower.
It's not the only thing he did this week, too. He had a very rough second game. Moving on to day 2. Fnatic versus SK Gaming. I'm so upset about this one. Just because I look like an idiot now on the last podcast. Which, I mean, is fair. You know, it happens. But I was telling everyone, SK's fallen off. Big deal. Like, Selfmade's awesome, but big deal. The rest of the team is garbage. You know? I already looked pretty bad with them upsetting Vitality with that. And then, to top that off, I said Fnatic's going to be a playoff team now because of this ADC update. In that it fits their draft perfectly, and they're going to draft perfectly for this. They're going to have late game. They're going to be awesome, blah, blah, blah. And now, both of those things, the opposite happened. Fnatic did not look good in this game. SK just won again, and this is a second win for SK against Fnatic. So now they own the tiebreaker, which is very important considering at the moment.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
SK is the 6th place team at 5-5, and arguably one of the only teams that Fnatic can probably catch by the end of the year. In my opinion, because I think Origin's on the way up and up. I think SK maybe Splice are the only 2 teams, and now that they have a tiebreaker, it made it significantly harder for Fnatic to make playoffs this year. And I think this might have been a death sentence game where it kicked them out of the playoffs. We'll look back and see if this was the game.
And next week's first day, Fnatic is playing against Origin.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one too.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see some more Zed.
Well, Zed got buffed. I don't think they're playing on 9.4 though, but like Zed got buffed pretty hard in 9.4. We might be seeing a lot of professional Zed coming out.
It'll be so tight. I'm so ready for it.
I am too. I hate facing Zed unless it's Zed jungle, like the game I was talking about earlier. But I like seeing Zed in pro play. It's awesome to see professional play. It's the same thing with Riven, where I hate Riven, but like watching pro players and one tricks player, it's like a one trick setter in professional play. Let me clarify that, not the one trick that goes 0-8 in your game. But yeah, they're a treat. They're very high, intense mechanical skill champs, and they're fun to see the best of the best play that.
I think it's crazy they took off the Reaper of Shadows from his ult, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
But like I think they said that
it's like a free BF sword.
Yeah, but they buffed a lot of his other stuff, and it made him very strong.
He actually has to hit his shit now.
He does. That is important. It's just like Zoe needs to hopefully. Well, they nerf Zoe into the ground for that, but she's still viable enough that she doesn't always have to hit her stuff to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Next game we had Splice versus Excel. I thought the move was a mistake simply by Excel. I think against Splice is a possible win for Excel. Not that they were the favorites coming into this by any means, but I think it was like a 60-40 type scenario. But I didn't like the move getting rid of Exile at all. I thought it was a mistake, and they didn't look very good, and Splice was able to win this game. And
But you think it was because they changed Exile?
I really do. I personally think that. I think putting special
Special was 3-0-3.
Was he in this game 3-0-3?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This game he was.
This game. Okay. Maybe let me retract that then. I did not realize he was 3-0-3 this game. I do know he did not have a good first game.
I mean, they still lost.
Yeah, they still lost in this game, but I'm not going to put the blame on him if it's 3-0-3. That's my fault. But I still, at the end of the day, I liked I really thought Exile was one of the best players on Excel, even though it was very difficult to say for the casters. I feel bad for them. I think him and Accept. I liked Accept as well.
Mm-hmm. His Jarvan looked good.
Yeah. Next we had probably game of the week with Vitality versus Shulka, and there was a win for Vitality. I was very happy that I predicted that.
Yeah, I didn't stick with my boys.
You didn't. I didn't stick with my boys of SO4, and it worked out for me. It was a weird thing, but I just felt like that SO4 wins a lot of team fights, but they don't make the aggressive move to the team fights. Where I think Vitality makes the aggressive move into the team fights, and they were going to be able to beat them. The interesting thing was that Attila beat Upset, and that was kind of fun to watch. With do you see the video of him telling Upset to never trash talk him again?
I heard him trash talk him.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the video.
Oh man, it was on stage. Well, he didn't just say that. There was a few curse words in there as well, but he just basically after
I said I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, it was Batilla basically told him to never effing trash talk me again or something like that while he was while they were ending the game. He was just putting it like going shh.
I'm pretty sure he said on Euphoria that he was like not even top 5 AD carries.
Yeah, I think that's what set him off, which I find that stuff fun in professional play. I think it adds a little bit of flavor to the games it adds personality and it adds like excitement to watch the next game, like the games, because I know Vitality and SO4 won't be playing each other until playoffs, when I assume both these teams are going to be playing in playoffs. But if they're in a matchup, that's absolutely something I'm going to want to see now is Upset versus Attila, you know? I want to see that rematch.
So do you have Vitality as 2, I'm assuming?
No.
No? Okay, never mind. I guess we'll wait. I was going to make a point, but never mind. You have Origin as 2, I know.
I do. I'm on that hype train.
But they lost to Vitality.
They did. But I'll explain. I'll defend myself in a bit. Next game, though, we had Misfits versus Rogue. Rogue got their first win, guys. My God, I am so done with Misfits right now.
Where did I put them at the beginning of the year,
You
William?
put them 6th.
I know.
And I put them 1st.
And I was drunk.
Yeah. Did you say you were drunk?
And I said I was wrong.
Oh, you were wrong. It cut off. I think they might be worse as well. I'm very, very disappointed with them. I can't even give them any credit. The only thing is that I think this Rogue team with Vander is better than with Wadid. I think that.
I feel bad for Wadid.
I do feel bad for him. But I think Vander brought leadership to the team and like better shot calling in a sense. And so I don't think it's the same Rogue as what we've had the last few weeks, or since inception of them, basically. Mm-hmm. But it's still not an acceptable loss either way on the Misfits side. You should still beat them.
I think this was a lot of Kikis' leadership too, because his Pantheon pick into the Lee Sin.
Pantheon pick, I love it.
Yeah, it just shuts down the early jungling of the Lee Sin, and then he just got his top lane rolling. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Pantheon. I used to play a lot of Pantheon. I want to play more Pantheon now that I think about it.
I feel like he's really feast or famine, because if you're behind, you're like...
He absolutely is. You have to play aggressive, and you have to win that aggressiveness, or you are useless for the entire game. And then people tell you, like, sometimes to build tank, which is okay, but, like, they tell you to build tank before you build damage item, then you're super useless. I feel like it's like you got to build at least 2. Yeah, you got to be a stun. You still got to build like 2 damage items though. I feel like at minimum to at least have some type of poke with your Q.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it was a great pick, and it was a great win for Rogue. I'm very happy for them to at least get their first win on the board. And like I said, I think they're a little better now all of a sudden. That they can be taken seriously against at least few of the other bottom teams.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on the top teams, of course, but
I don't know who this Finn guy is. I know they said he was playing, I guess, in the Polish league.
Yeah.
And doing really well, but he's been very solid.
Yeah.
I think he had one bad game.
Yeah, he and that was his first game on stage too, so that's nerves.
Yeah.
You can relate that to nerves and throw that
Uh-huh.
out for the most part. Final game though that I do want to talk about. Origin upset G2 and sent them their undefeated season away. They've sent them to Team Liquid being the only undefeated team left in the West, but then that changed as well. But at the time they were for like 24 hours. But yeah, we had major upset here. I was amazed by this. I have been praising Origin for the last few weeks. I've actually been picking Origin quite a bit since I wasn't really on board with them until about I wasn't on board in preseason. I wasn't on board in week 1, and even week 2 I was a little shaky, but then after that I noticed in week 2 that a lot of their games were because of those early mistakes, like getting caught out and stuff and stuff like that. And then I believe they brought up on the what's it called, the broadcast that what was my words? I totally lost what I was going to say. Oh, that Origin had been caught out like 24 times in the first 20 minutes of the first 5-6 games of the season. In the last 4 games they've been caught out like 3 times. And that's insane to me. Like that they really shored up that weakness, and it showed that weakness was what was bringing them down every week. I still wouldn't think that it would bring them over to G2 levels, but then you had Nuke Duck on Zed, solo killing Caps, like crazy game.
Yeah, everyone did really well. I mean, all the carries at least.
Yeah, they frankly they crushed G2 too for the most.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just like a close match. They really beat them pretty well. Brock, do you have anything to say about this one? Because it was a crazy game.
There was a Karthus in this game.
Yeah,
and I hate it.
And it wasn't Jankos.
I hate it. I don't like Karthus. I feel like if you win on Karthus, you're basically cheating anyway. So this, in the sense, I said in the beginning that the teams that lost, kind of teams where I give free passes to them losing. Like Team Liquid, you lose. Doesn't do anything. You're fine. That one loss isn't going to hurt you. G2, you lose. You're fine. They played Karthus. It's fine.
Yeah.
But Nuke Duck played Zed. That changes everything.
And
because that's hyphy. And like y'all were saying, huge fan of Zed. I love seeing Zed plays. Although I don't think we're going to see it often, but I do like seeing it a lot.
I love seeing the Karthus jungle.
I
it's
saw
so much
Karthus
fun.
and Zed is a very good combination. I was very impressed by that combination, and I'm wondering if that will actually become kind of a meta, a niche meta, where you have Zed mid and Karthus jungle. Because Karthus ulting onto Zed jumping in is like the new Akali. Like you used to have it with Karthus ult and then Akali jumps in and instant kills, but now that Akali's been completely gutted, now we have Karthus and Zed. If Zed jumps in and ults and does his shurikens and stuff and does enough damage, Karthus ult's gonna half health squishy. Anyway, so he really doesn't even need to hit anything. He's just got his spin pretty much with his shadow, and that will kill someone.
I actually miss him. I miss Akali.
I don't.
I do not.
I miss Akali
Such
a
a
lot.
stupid champion.
I'm not a fan. I'm
a huge fan.
So
and it's not
boring to
even
watch.
me. It's not even like me as a person, because I liked Akali. I played Akali a bit when she came out, but for me, Akali is the most fun champion to watch in pro play. Because like Zed is, Zed's fun to watch, but you know what he's going to do. He's going to go in, he's going to go for a target, he's either going to kill him and die or he's going to kill him and get out. Akali
Or split push.
Yeah, Akali before the nerf literally does everything. Like she's jumping into team fights, surviving. Look what Caps did. Caps 1v5'd and killed 2 people before he died.
Yeah, but to me, that's just obnoxious. I hated her true stealth in the thing. I just really
Yeah, that was so
It's
stupid.
so dumb. I thought it too. It was too strong of an assassin that could play very safe. Like you could essentially be tanky by surviving in your true stealth for very long with like Zonias and all your dashes and your healing. Like there's so much to be tanky as a Kali and be safe that you couldn't be blown up as someone that does a whole lot of high damage like that, and that's frustrating to play against and watch for me because I'm like, oh, Akali's fine because she can do everything. Like you said, she can do everything.
I'm not a fan of Riot butchering champions to where they're literally not played. Like what I think they should have done, because I don't mind the true invisibility, because for me, lore wise, it should be like that, because when you go stealth, you're visible. But what I think they should have done is made it to where when you use an ability or you attack someone, it takes you longer to go back in the ability.
That's
Because
a good idea.
as someone who I like to Kali a lot, I just said that. It was OP, but I think that's how they should have nerfed it instead of just saying you can't have it. I think it should have been when you use an ability or you attack, it takes you like add another second or 1.22 seconds till you go back in the ability. So you can tower dive, but you're going to get punished for it. Because like y'all say, y'all like Zed and all that, Zed can do what Akali did by jumping under tower and only taking a tower shot. Because he's just going to toss a shadow out of tower range, ult you, do a bunch of damage, and then take his clone back.
I
And
guess
then he's dead.
in my sense is that, or in my play, that he can be CC'd during that time quickly with a point and click, where Akali can't really because she can go back invisible real quick and you can't see her. I guess that's more so my personal play, I guess.
Yeah, which I mean, I understand it. I get it. Because the true invisibility is, like, was OP how they did it, but I think it could have been nerfed a different way.
Yeah, and I can't really hate you too much because I like seeing Urgot for a long time. I was starting to get sick of Urgot a little bit myself, but like, yeah, then Urgot's super broken. Now he's gutted enough.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
so
not
tired of Urgot.
not gutted as much as Akali, but man, as someone I just played him today and on 9.4, and you have to very much watch your mana usage. You cannot spam those Qs in lane, and the W gives almost 0 HP of what it used to do. So not only is he no longer a pseudo tank, which I never considered him a super tank in the first place. I thought he's tanky, but not like Scion tanky or like Cho'Gath or Maokai and stuff like that. But he was still tanky. Now he's not very tanky at all. I think he's about at levels of like Darius and Garen level of tank. Juggernaut tank.
Where's your Discord, by the way, Will?
Where's my Discord?
No, I say
Oh, yeah, I already
Yeah.
read it. Are you good?
I agree, though. But, yeah, I'd like, I don't mind seeing champions played over and over in pro play because obviously pro players champion. Like, pro players make the meta. Riot nerfs and buffs champions based off of pro play. So, like, if you watch pro play, when it comes to champions, what they do, what you see is what you get. You're not going to be able to do those things on those champions. So, like, and, like, gold or, like, what is it? Iron, bronze, gold, sometimes plat. Your Akalis are going to tower dive, and then they're just going to die. Because they're not going to use the invincibility like they should do and all that. But like I said, I don't mind it because I think it needed something. I just don't think it needed that.
Yeah,
But it's done now, so you can't do nothing.
Yeah, they also said they over nerfed it for right now, but they will add buffs back to it later. They just needed to kill it for right now because it was too oppressive.
Yeah, but like what Brian said and you both said, I'm very tired of seeing Urgot. Yeah.
All right, those are the games though. Let's move on to players of the week. For this week, I had top laner of SK's top laner, Warlib. Is that how you say it?
Warlip.
Warlib? Okay.
Whirly B.
Whirly B. I like Whirly B. I like
That
that.
sounds a lot better, to be honest.
It does. It does. He needs to change his name.
It's close to Billy Billy.
It is. I love Billy Billy. Anyway, KDA of 8.0, GPM of 388, and best game was 1-0-7 on Scion. He was on Scion duty, but he played it very well, and he was one of the main reasons why SK was able to upset both Vitality and Fnatic by starting team fights as the Scion and being able to get those ults down effectively, unlike Darshan. Sorry.
Why you gotta do me like that?
I'm sorry.
This isn't even NA.
It's not even NA. I'm sorry. It slipped out. Jungler of the week was also SK. Self-made. The guy is a monster. One of the best junglers in the EU by far, even though he's on a weaker team. KDA of 6.7. His damage percentage is a 20.2. DPM of 362, and his best game was 3-1-7 on the Lee Sin against Vitality. He had some excellent kicks in that game. It was just phenomenal to watch. Mid laner, I think this one's obvious this week, is Nuke Duck on Origin. He had a KDA of 15. He had a CS per minute of 10.1, damage percentage of 23.8. Best game definitely was his 5-1-4 on Zed because it was on freaking Zed, and he solo killed Caps of all people. And that was crazy. It was just a crazy, awesome game. I was very impressed with Nuke Duck, and he shows that his Champion Ocean is awesome. He can play any champion, I feel like.
He's the best. Better than Caps.
Ooh.
He proved it.
He did beat him 1v1 at this game.
This may actually be the year of the duck.
It may. We'll stick a pin in that. Come back to it. ADC of the week was Vitality's Attila. He had KDA of 4.7, CS per minute of 10.5, damage percentage of 26.6%, and DPM of 549. His best game was 6-0-5 on the Kai'Sa, and what a monster game on that Kai'Sa against Vitality. That was a fantastic performance by him, and he came there with something to prove. Support of the week was Rogue's Vander. I thought he was phenomenal. And I never thought I'd see a Rogue player on my Players of the Week. KDA of 9. He had a vision score of 2.54, and not only that, he just really led the team, I thought, with a lot of his shot calling, along with Kika's. And they played phenomenal against Misfits for what we expect from them, really. So I thought he deserved Player of the Week for sure. And with that, we will move on to our power rankings. All right. In our power rankings here for Week 6, we have G2 all at number 1 still, even though they lost. I think that's fair. It's just like in NA. I think that Liquid is still the best team. I think G2 is still the best team in EU. Number 2, you guys have Vitality. I have Origin at number 2. I am all on that hype train. I would have put Vitality, even though I understand Vitality did beat Origin. What week was that, Brian?
Vitality beating Origin was week 3.
Week 3.
Okay, I didn't even remember. So thanks.
Okay, good. I guess I could have figured that out because I picked Origin to beat Vitality that week. It looks like, and it did not work out. But and that's what lost me the week. But that was a close game. I do remember because it was close until Origin got picked off. I believe it was Cold got picked off in the jungle, and then Vitality took a Baron and was able to close it off of that. Not to say that to discredit Vitality in any way from that win. It was still a good win for them. But I feel like that was week 3 in power ranking wise. I feel like they have struggled a bit lately with Vitality. They losing to SK, I think, is pretty bad in the sense that I know they beat Fnatic as well, so that shores up their case a little bit. But before that, I was really thinking that that's a very bad loss for Vitality because I think SK is a weaker playoff team, if not even a playoff team potentially. And Origin looked amazing in both their games this week. I know one was against Rogue, but the other was against freaking G2. And no one has looked even remotely close to good against G2. So I think they're hotter right now in that if they came to face Vitality, they would beat Vitality at the moment.
Let's see. Who's Origin against? Okay, yeah, they're not playing against Vitality. I was trying to figure out who Origin was against this week.
Yeah. I do have Vitality number 3 though, because they beat SO4, so they deserve to be ahead of SO4 this week. They beat them, so it was very relevant. And you guys have them just under as well. Brian, you have Origin actually ahead of SO4, but we both have SO4 number 4. Do you want to talk about your guys' top 4? Anything you wanted to point out?
I just think since Vitality beat Origin until they play him again and beat him again, I put Vitality above them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're better than SO4 because SO4 looked bad. So
Yeah.
I think Origin looked better than them.
Yeah, mine with putting who was it? Vitality above Origin. I'm not fully on the Origin hype train. Like, if this season's taught me anything, it's to not actually be on hype trains.
Hype trains die quickly.
Because that shit goes down fast.
They really do.
Like, so instead of saying I'm on the hype train, I'm going to say I'm looking at the hype train.
Okay.
So I'm looking at it, like, from a distance. I'm getting real close to it, but I'm excited about what Origin's doing, though. Like, because Origin's coming up with big wins, and I'm liking it. But for me, the Vitality win against Origins kind of holds me there, but we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I think I recently said that Origin beat Rogue this week. I meant that they beat Excel, not Rogue. I forgot.
Yeah.
Next,
I said there's a certain team that both teams are playing against this week. So whoever looks the worst against said team may dictate what the power rankings next week is going to be.
Yeah, for sure. Next we had Splice number 5. You had number 6, Brock. You had SK number 5. We have SK Gaming number 6. Is there any reason why you have them over Splice?
SK over Splice? I think it was who SKs have played against. Like, looking back at SK's games, I believe it was SK's. Let me make sure I'm not boasting the wrong team here. Yeah, because week 1, like, when we had our expectations on certain teams high, like, my expectations were on Fnatic and Misfits.
Yep.
And so them beating Fnatic was a big deal to me, and losing to Misfits really wasn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then losing to SO4 next is, look at SO4 now. I mean, they're a top 3 for me, that is. Not for y'all. For me, they're top 3. And, I mean, their games are actually against decent people, and then they're beating the worser people.
Yeah, so they're gatekeeping is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like how everyone's not sold. I mean, you have been saying how you're not sold on Splice.
No, not at all.
For me, it's kind of, I'm there with you. I mean, they also just lost to Fnatic. That's a yikes.
Yeah, really.
Losing to Fanatics is a pretty big yikes.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, that's kind of my reasoning for putting them there.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think that them and Splice right now are playoff teams at the moment compared to the rest of the league, but they are definitely the lower level. They're definitely at a much lower level than the top 4 at the moment. I think the top 4 is pretty solid in EU. Then you have Splice and SK in the middle at the 2, and then you have a bottom 4, a definite bottom 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that bottom 4, we have Fnatic and Misfits. We both dropped Misfits to 8. Brock, you dropped them to 7. We have Fnatic at 7, so that's okay. It's very equal. But, God, I'm so disappointed in Misfits after this. I'm done. I'm off that train. The train can burn. I'm so upset with Misfits.
Yeah, I mean, who was it? I think it's Forbidden. Forbidden's the mid laner for Misfits. Yep. I've been saying how I'm not a big fan of
You've been
Forbidden
saying that since last year on Clutch.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Forbidden. I don't think he's a very good player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's very good. Granted, I'm not putting all the blame on Forbidden because I believe there was what series was it? There was a series this week. I think it was against Vitality where Forbidden didn't do bad. Maybe it was the win against XL. I mean, I'm sorry. Got that. I was looking at week 1. God, I don't remember. Either way, one of the games he did good, which is okay, but for me it's still not impressive.
I saw a post that showed that Gorilla has actually been doing fantastic still on Misfits. He's actually posting some pretty good scores and stats. I think it's just more so. I think Maxlore has been terrible in the jungle since the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks he was a monster, and now he's just fallen off.
Yep.
And I think it's Fabivin, like you said, mid. That's also not looking very good at all.
Yeah, I think Fabivin, if I can say it, is more of like the Azir type player. If they ever come back, maybe he'll pop off. But
Control mages.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really meta at the moment, and they haven't.
No.
It's more burst assassins. Assassins are meta at the moment for sure.
Especially now that Crit's coming back.
Yeah. And then finally, we both have Excel number 9 and Rogue number 10. Rogue got a solid win, but I don't think that's proven them to be able to get out of 10th just yet.
No.
Okay, so let's move on to our predictions for the week. First game this week, we have G2 versus SO4. Fantastic game to start. I believe we were talking about this earlier. And I have G2 winning this game. They're going to have a solid bounce back week, I think. I think SO4 looks a little shaky, but again, losing the G2 is not that big a deal to me. It's just kind of a happenstance. Like, you just accept it. But I think that against G2, they are just weaker at pretty much every role outside of ADC. And maybe Upset can come back and win because of the crit changes. That would be the only win condition I would give SO4 is if Upset gets a early lead on something that's not supposed to have an early lead, like a Sivir or a Tristana or something like that, and then he's able to snowball the game just by having so much early crit from there.
You don't want to see the Abadage Zed?
I mean, sure, but I don't think it. I don't think Cap is gonna get beat by Zed 2 games in a row. Let's just say that.
There also may be a chance Caps plays Zed.
Yeah, if Caps plays Zed, GG. Upset
that would be tight.
Upset's not gonna be relevant in the game because it'll be too much of a gray screen. Sadly.
Yep. For me, I think if Shulker would have had a better game against
Vitality,
I would be more inclined to say, hey, they may be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But because they didn't, I think this is going to be a pretty kind of one-sided game for G2. I think Shulker will have the ability to make a couple big plays, but I think G2 is going to take it.
Yeah, I'm sticking with G2. I don't think they'll meme as much since they lost. So like, oh shit.
They're getting too hot. Got knocked down.
Yankos will shut the hell up a little bit. I think he's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, but he talks a lot.
Oh god, yeah, he does. Game number 2, we have after that amazing game, we go to Rogue and Excel.
Yikes!
Not the worst game of the week, as I would still give that one to Jinair and Gen G, but hasn't even played yet. But I can't wait to learn to fall asleep during that again. But
hey, Jinair could win a game.
They could, maybe. Dude, Jinair looks so bad today. Oh my god. Anyway, G2 Rogue. I think Rogue is gonna upset Excel here. I like their changes from Vander in support and taking out Prophet in the top lane. But I think that I didn't like. This is purely off those changes, and I don't like what Excel's changes were previously. Where I was saying I don't like the special replacing Exile. So on that sense, I think Rogue gets their second win and go on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with Excel because I really like special.
Well, I actually kind of wish Will wouldn't have picked Rogue because I plan to pick Rogue.
There you go, Brock.
Well, good.
Can both
free win for me,
Brian. So you went Rogue as well, Brock?
Yep.
Nice.
I mean, we're literally. You want me to toss a coin? Like we're picking between the clear worst 2 teams.
Yeah, that is true.
Wait, true. I picked Excel.
Yeah, that's the second worst team.
Yeah, I know. I thought William said I also picked Rogue.
No. Brock did.
Okay.
Next game is Vitality versus Splice. This game I had Vitality winning this one. I think they're gonna have I was gonna say comeback, but they did already come back against SO4. But I think that I haven't been sold on Splice all year long. I wasn't sold on Vitality for a little bit, but now I'm kind of sold on them for sure. And I think that they're gonna be able to dominate, and they're gonna be able to pressure Splice too much with a bunch of team fighting that it won't be able to get to late game for Splice to win out. But if a game goes 45 minutes, I'm just gonna assume Splice wins because they have like 100% win rate on 45-minute games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vitality.
I think
I didn't pick them last week and paid.
yeah, they're just gonna cause too much havoc and pressure for Splice to hold the game out.
Yeah, I'm also going Vitality. I think Vitality's early game is way too good for Splice to wait till late game.
Sometimes Splice has a good early game, but then when they do, they don't have any mid game, and they just wait till late game anyway. It's the weirdest thing. It is so weird. Like when they had that Pike pick, and they were getting picks all over the map. I was like, wow, Splice is an early game team now. And then they're not, because they held still for 20 minutes. Still won the game, but...
Splice is the exact opposite of how we used to play League when we played as a 5. We would have great early games, but had no clue how to finish the game.
Hey, we also had very good late game turtling. We were great.
Yeah, we had very good late game.
Late
game. Next game we had Misfits versus SK Gaming.
I think this is another really big game.
This is a tough game
for
to
both
pick.
teams. I think it's big for
tough
both.
Game pick. Exactly.
I think this will be like really good to solidify SK as number 6, and like to keep Misfits out of it, because this is one of the wins they have to.
And this is also Misfits also fired their coach, or their coach stepped down. I believe it was their coach, right? It was on Reddit today.
I thought it was SK fired Sheepy or got rid or replaced him. I don't know if they fired him.
No, I think it was Misfits coach stepped down. But
Moose, whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% on that. I don't have it for sure, but I think this was one of the toughest games for me to pick. I want to see your guys' picks first. I'm curious, because I think this is do or die for Misfits, and it's like you said, solidify for SK.
SK is my pick.
SK.
100%.
I really want SK to win. I feel like the talent on Misfits just won't let them lose like this huge game.
Okay.
But I don't know.
What about Selfmade versus Maxlar?
Yeah, that's true, because I think Selfmade's just gonna clown on him. I'm gonna go SK.
There you go. I'm in the exact same boat as you. I even was about to have Misfits before the podcast until I remembered Selfmade versus Maxlar, and I'm like, Maxlar's played terrible the last 3 weeks. Like, absolutely terrible. And Selfmade's been one of the top 3 best junglers in EU, easily. So I think he will be able to carry his team where they lack in talent compared to Misfits on paper. That I think that Selfmade pushing Maxlar out of his jungle and just pressuring all 3 lanes probably will be able to put them ahead of Misfits enough that Misfits will just collapse again. It's just every single week they collapse.
Was Maxlore the jungler for Misfits when they had their big Worlds run?
I think so, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. Because I mean, I know he's
good.
He's always talked about as being so good.
Yeah.
I just don't remember him being that great.
I remember him being good, but then like he even at the beginning of the year he was insane. But then all of a sudden, like the last three weeks have been terrible. Like he's just getting out jungled completely. I wonder if it has something to do with the XP changes. Maybe they're affecting him more than others. I don't know why, but it could be a reason. It's around the same time. Next we have Origin versus Fnatic, and like I this is a tougher one for me too, but because I want to believe in Fnatic with the crit ADC, but I think it was tough because I also think Origin might have a hangover game after beating G2, but I don't think they will. I think that their whole purpose of why they've gotten to this point and been able to take down G2 is because they've shored up all their early mistakes, and I don't think the coaches were going to let them slide on that. Like, that's stuff that's fixable. So I think Origin will be able to take this game, even though I think it'll be closer than most people think.
Yeah, I think if Fnatic's going to win, it's going to have to be through either Whippo, but I don't know what he'll play, or Reckless, because I don't think what's his face Nemesis is going to do much against Nuke Duck.
No.
I think Brox is good. Memento is good, so I think that's a stalemate. But I just think it's crit ADC, so it is Reckless, but he's
Memento,
playing against
you mean,
probably
cold.
Duh. Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cold has been playing really well. So I don't know. And then there's Patrick, who's another good crit ADC, so I think I'm gonna go OG.
Brock?
For me, I think if Fnatic has to rely on Whippo to win any game, I think they're probably 100% going to lose that game.
That's what I was thinking as well when he said
so
it.
I think Whippo is a garbage top laner. But I'm going Fnatic this game.
Ooh,
and it's not because I think Fnatic is better. I'm going Fnatic because I just have a weird feeling Fnatic's going to win one game this week, and I don't think it's against Vitality.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that pick, Brock, because I was really looking at the Fnatic pick. There's some feel about it that Fnatic is going to win this game. For me too, I'm feeling it myself. But
yeah, switch my pick. I'm gonna go with Fnatic. I don't know why. I like what Brock said because I kind of feel that too.
Yeah, we all feel it. Okay, I'm gonna stick with Origin because I feel like I have to commit to me putting them second in the power rankings. But I totally get the feeling from you guys. I have that weird gut check that Fnatic's gonna win this game. So just so you know, if they win, I was thinking it as well.
Okay. Good.
So I'm Brock, glad we all had that gut feeling.
You switched my pick. You switched my pick, Brock.
I did the same thing to Will last podcast.
You did. and that was 2 weeks ago, Brian. I was saying with your Memento thing, I was saying something for LMS, like 3 or 4 different times I was talking about a guy on Mad, but he wasn't on Mad at all.
Yeah, no. I just know he used to play with who's Memento on Roccat?
I don't remember.
He was. Never mind.
But yeah, it was. I've done that mistake so many times myself. It's all good. Moving on, we got next game. We got Vitality versus Fnatic. So we got Fnatic back-to-back games here. And this one, like you said, Brock, I think Vitality wins this one because they're too aggressive, and Fnatic cannot handle early game. I think they get outclassed in the early game, or they get outclassed early, I think, and then they're not able to do anything late game because of it.
Are you going backwards?
Did I?
No.
Go backwards?
No, Fnatic's against Vitality. First game of day 2.
Am I looking at the wrong thing?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's Fnatic, Vitality, and then Rogue Splice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree with what you say. For me, it's kind of strange because I think the best way to counter the crit meta, which you're not going to counter the crit meta, but to counter a crit champion like Sivir is obviously to have Vitality's playstyle, and that's aggressive, always poking, always fighting, which I think is why Ezreal is still very good right now in the crit meta that's forming. Is because he's good at bullying lanes and all that. He's poking you down, always pushing you under tower. Yeah, I think this one is going to be a Vitality win. Because I don't think Reckless is going to have time to get to where he needs to be. And before this is like a 54-minute game.
I'll Sivir responding. Yeah. Brian?
I'm going to go Vitality.
All right. You can't lose faith in your boys now after
now I have to commit.
Okay, next game we have Splice versus Rogue. This one I almost wanted to pick Rogue again. I really did. But I can't hate on Splice that much. They've looked okay enough that I have to pick Splice. I think that this game... I don't think... It's also not only because of that. I think Rogue is much better than what they were before, but I don't think they have the ability to close out a game quick enough to stop the Splice death machine of 45 minutes. I really think Rogue will be competitive in this game, but they won't win it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's going to go too long and Splice is going to win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Splice. I don't think Rogue's that great.
I'm actually gonna go Rogue this game,
Ooh.
and it's got a lot to do with the fact that I don't think both teams are that good. I think Splice has a better chance of going further than Rogue does. But I think right now, with Rogue winning against Misfits, I think they're going to win against XL. I think they're going to come into this game
Feeling good.
feeling good, and Splice, for me, is coming into this game on a loss against Vitality.
Mm-hmm.
And also last week they lost to Fnatic.
Yep.
So I think this one is going to be Rogue. I also do not think it's going to be a very fun game to watch. I would suggest maybe skipping this one.
Man, Brock, you went all out on all of my upset picks that I wanted to take, but I was not bold enough to do it.
Doing it. I'm not on the, like I said, I'm not on the hype train. I'm not on the Rogue hype train. But I think right now,
This is a week for them to win.
yeah, I think this week and definitely not next week.
Are they playing G2, I'm assuming?
They're playing against G2 next week.
Rip.
Yikes! But they are playing against Fnatic as well, so
Oh, there you go.
we'll see. But yeah, I have Rogue winning this one.
Still sounds weird to me.
It does sound weird, like, oh yeah, easy game, Fnatic.
Speaking of easy games, next game we got G2 versus Excel. I think this is a cleanup game for G2. Like you said, Brian, I'm hoping they're not going to meme as hard anymore, and they're going to be taking it seriously and like just clean up the entire week. They're
I mean, even if it's not an NA team, because I think NA teams it's pretty much liquid. Internationally at MSI, I want to see G2. I don't want anyone to upset them, so I want to see G2 against other international teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm riding G2 to the end of this. I'm not a G2 fan. I just want to see how good they
I
are.
hate G2. I really.
I know. I just want to see how good they actually are.
I do. I hate them as like a villain, like a good villain now. Though I think that with caps added, I think I don't hate him as much as I used to.
Y'all's Liquid is my G2, and by y'all I mean Will. Your Liquid is my G2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Liquid is so boring. Not like that they play boring style or anything. I just think it's like, oh wow, you have the best players in the NA. You have 2 world champions. Oh man, y'all are smurfing in NA.
Yeah,
wow.
your worst like accolades player is double lift.
Wow, Patriots won the Super Bowl again? Oh, dope, nice.
Wow.
So
Perennial international choke star.
Yep.
And domestic king.
I think MSI is going to be hard too. I'm worried. I'm worried that might hurt Liquid, like confidence. But we're not talking Liquid. We're talking EU. What's your pick, Brock? I'm assuming G2.
Very easily G2.
All right.
You know, I think no, I'm kidding. G2.
I'd be more surprised if this game goes past 25 minutes.
You think they'll beat their time against Fnatic?
I think so.
Man, Excel held with them quite a bit actually. They were the closest game to G2 outside of obviously last one. But I don't think it'll happen again. I don't think
so either.
I thought G2 was just memeing too hard, and that was one of the reasons why.
Just freaking put perks on Yasuo again. That thing was busted.
Yeah. It's getting nerfed pretty hard now, though, thankfully.
Is it?
Yep,
oh,
in 9.4. 9.4. So probably not this game. This week will be probably 9.3, I'm assuming.
What, Yasuo?
Yeah. Yasuo
yeah, that 20% crit damage? Yikes. Mm-hmm. Decrease? That's a lot.
Yep. He deserves it. It's unfair to get 100% crit off Infinity Edge.
Yep. Oh, no, that's his passive. Well, that's not his Q.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they nerfed his Q.
Got it.
Yeah, they didn't nerf his passive. He still gets 100% crit.
And he's mobile.
I hate it.
Yeah, and he's mobile.
I don't mind it on Cho'Gath, but I hate it on pretty much everything else because it's enough to. I feel like you can tank it up enough. But next game we have is SO4 versus SK Gaming, another game that I wanted to pick an upset, but I wasn't bold enough. I need to be more bold, I think. But I have SO4 winning this game. I think that even though they have self-made, I think Memento's a solid enough jungler to keep him contained, and I think upset is just too strong for SK Gaming's bot lane. And they're just gonna be able to win right through upset.
Yep. I also picked SO4 this time.
Me too.
I didn't go with the bold prediction this time. Because I do think SK is on a roll right now, but I have SO4 number 2 for a reason.
Yep.
I don't think SO4 is going to go 0-2.
Yeah.
You have SO4 number 3, Brock. Like,
yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. Sorry. I have Vitality 2.
Yeah, which makes sense. Final game, we have Origin versus Misfits. I am on the Origin hype train. I'm completely off the Misfits hype train. Give me Origin all day.
Me too. I don't know what to say about it.
Yep, I'm going to act like Misfits isn't even a team to me anymore.
Yep, they're dead to me as well.
I haven't been let down this hard since the Heart of Thieves.
So since Monday.
I thought you said Sea of Thieves, honestly.
That too.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Hey, it's supposed to be better now. I really wish we should really play it again because it's supposed to be good.
I never even bought it. I just did my trial, and luckily it burned out for y'all. So.
All right, those are the picks, though. I want to thank you guys for watching. I do have an announcement for the LPL on Sunday. I don't know about that podcast yet. I might do a very brief podcast because the Smash tournament, I'm going to be away. It's in downtown Detroit, but I'm going to be at a hotel and everything there, so I'm going to be away for the whole day, and the Smash tournament doesn't end till like 11 o'clock or something like that at night on Sunday. So I'm pretty much won't be home until like midnight or 1 o'clock. So I might do a podcast then just to briefly do my rankings, no adjustments or anything like that. Like no talking over the previous games or players of the week. I might just to have the rankings out, but we'll see. I'll see when that's it. But other than that, you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLinkFan, and you can watch them live, or you can watch them just on YouTube. We upload immediately after, so you can watch them on youtube.com/KingLinkFan. And thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you hopefully Sunday. I hope to get that in.
Don't forget to comment on the YouTube videos too. We see a lot of people watching them.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave some love down there.
Yeah, if you comment, if you have any suggestions or any thoughts about our picks and stuff, please let us know. I'll be thrilled to answer you. Bye.
Bye.